Hello and welcome back all of you my dear students to our second part of the chapter 9, that is natural resources. Now in the previous videos we have discussed a little bit about the substance based energy sources. Okay, we have discussed about substance based energy resources, and in that we have discussed regarding like how do we obtain energy from certain material. Okay, may it be wood, coal, petrol, okay, crude oil, kerosene, diesel, or anything else. Okay, like nuclear materials also we have discussed about it. Okay, nuclear or atomic material. So we saw that this substance will get finished if once they are used. So these are called as perishable material. Okay, perishable material. Now once these things are used, they will get finished and we cannot reproduce them very easily and very fast. So this was the previous discussions that we have done. Today we will be learning about the process based energy resources. Okay, now the difference between both of these things we will also discuss in more elaborate manner in just few minutes. But the main difference is that here we are using some another material. Okay, it is not just material, it is a type of energy that we will get from one different source, and then we will use some apparatus to convert that form of energy into the energy that we want. So we will see what is the meaning of this thing. So let us discuss about the process based energy resources. So process, it is a type of process or thing, like we will use some apparatus and we will kind of transfer this one form of energy into another form of energy. So basically what we want, like in the previous one, substance based, we have discussed about the thermal energy. Okay, thermal energy which we use to convert it into the electrical energy, and again atomic energy is what we get from the substances. Now here what is important is, one is the thermal energy without burning anything, of course. Okay, we don't burn anything to get the thermal energy. Next is kinetic energy. We will discuss about what is this kinetic energy in just few minutes. Then tidal energy, wind energy. Okay, or simply we will use mechanical energy of these things of water and wind to convert this mechanical energy into the electrical energy. So we will discuss about these things also, and how do we use thermal energy without burning anything, because you see we have seen in the last video that if only we will burn something, then only we are going to get this heat from this material. But we will see how do we use thermal energy without even burning something. So process based, I hope you got the point, using some apparatus to convert the one form of energy into another form of energy. Now this apparatus, it is just a one-time thing that we have to do, and it will have that process. Now you see the example, first of all, is the use of solar energy. How do we use solar energy? We cannot just directly take the heat from the sun and just convert it into electricity. No, we cannot do that thing. We will require certain process to follow. So we will take one semiconductor, and the heat from the sun and the light from the sun will be colliding on that thing. Then after the collision, the p-n junction will be kind of transferring the electrons, and then when electrons flow in one direction, then only we will see that the generation of electricity is possible in this case. So the amount of heat that it will absorb, the more electricity it will be producing. So this is how you see we are not burning anything, we are not burning the sun burns on itself. So we are just using that energy from the sun, and we are just converting them by using this apparatus that we have built, which is called as solar panel. And by using this solar panel, we are converting this light energy and heat energy into electricity by following this process. So that is what is an example of process based energy. Now if you have seen dams, what is the main function of these dams? First of all, we build a dam, then we store water behind it. Okay, there will be an obstruction in the flow of river. We will build some walls. Okay, that is what we call as dams. And these dams will fill up the catchment area behind it. Then the water will be stored. Now here you can see that I am showing you an image of how do dams work. So as I said you earlier that dam will use the water to drive the turbine. So just see in this kind of image, like first of all we will build some obstruction in the river so that the water could be stored up on the upstream side of that river. Then we will kind of give a little bit, we will kind of let there a passage so that the water could flow from that passage, and after at the end of that passage we will kind of put the turbine in that place. Okay, we will keep the turbine so that whenever the water will flow from that place, it will be going through the turbine and then only it can go to the downstream side. So once this process happens and this turbine will kind of run due to this thing, okay, it will rotate, then what will happen? The electricity will be generated by this action. So this is what it kind of goes around in all of these different cases, like I told you, the steam engine, okay, power station, nuclear power station, and all these things. So this is what basically is the mechanism that we are talking about while kind of generating electricity. The same thing will go with the windmills. By you see here in the image, like windmills are kind of rotating the same turbine, but they are using the wind, not the water. Water is being used by the hydroelectric power station, okay, or the dams as the kind of the driver of the turbine. And here in the windmills they are using the wind to drive this turbine. Now after the turbine are kind of rotating, then they will kind of produce the electromagnetic current and the mechanical energy will be converted into the electrical energy. That is the basic concept of all this energy that we get from the process based energy resources. Now let's see what happens when we drive the turbine. Okay, mechanical energy, we will use this mechanical energy, we will convert this mechanical energy of the turbine which we have got through the kinetic energy. Okay, the mechanical energy that is produced due to the kinetic energy from the water, it will be converted into the electrical energy. Now you see what is kinetic. First of all, let's talk about this word for a few minutes. Okay, let us understand this word. Now I will give you one example. Okay, lake and river. What do you understand by these two names? Okay, lake, it means the water which is situated, or it is a kind of settled at one small catchment area. That means a pond or something. Okay, so what is a lake? It is water which is stationary. Okay, it is not moving. Then what is river? You see, river flows. So this is what water is flowing in that river. So what do we mean by lake and river? What is the meaning? This is stationary. Okay, water does not move, and this is moving water. Okay, so stationary, the meaning of this thing is static. Now stationary water doesn't move anything. Like you see, if water is stationary and if I keep a fan over it or anything, so it will not move, it will just stay in one place. But if I place a small paper boat in the river, what will happen? This paper boat will flow with the flow of the river. Okay, it will flow with that river flow. So what will happen? Water is moving. So this moving or the motion of movement of water is called as the kinetic motion. Okay, kinetic motion. So this kinetic motion can lead, like if the force is more, okay, the movement of water is in huge quantity and with high speed, this will kind of help us to drive some turbines. Okay, there are some fans installed near the dams, and when this water is kind of let go in that passage that I just told you, there is a small passage from where this water will be moving. Now once this water will move in that particular passage, it will move that turbine, and when this turbine will kind of rotate, it will create the electromagnetic force, and that is how we convert the mechanical energy of this turbine, and we will produce the electricity through it. So that is what, this is the process. I just described you the process of making the water, okay, making use of the kinetic energy of the water to convert it into electricity. So that is what we have just discussed about. Two examples up to now, solar energy and use of dam. Now the same thing we will use the wind for. Okay, now you see wind and air blows in the air. So you might have seen windmills are there. Okay, windmills, they are big fan like structures. What happens to them when air is passing or where air is flowing? What happens? These fans will rotate. Now due to this rotation, you might have seen there is something kind of big stuff behind the fan, okay, or the windmill. So that is what, that is also a type of motor. Now when this will move, it will again create the same effect that we call as conversion of mechanical energy by using the kinetic energy from the wind to produce electricity. Okay, electricity. So this is what, again, a process which uses the same thing that we have done over here, just the object or the thing that we derive this energy from, mechanical energy, it is different. Here it is water, here it is the wind, okay, in the windmills. So this is what, tidal energy and wind. Now I told you thermal energy, we will use it from the sun. Again, next thing, we can also use the thermal energy from the ground. Okay, that is called as geothermal energy. Now you know all that there is volcano below the earth's surface. Okay, I told you the mantle layer, okay, crust, mantle and core. So below the crust, below our land, there is all volcano. So at some places there are mountains and there are troughs. So what happens due to these things? Some places are near the mantle and some places are a lot away from the mantle. So what happens? The places which are near the mantle, they will get the more heat from the bottom of the earth. So this heat can be also used to make steam, and then again this steam we will use for converting it into the mechanical energy, and we will drive again turbines through it. Then this is how we produce electricity. So everything you see, it is used to produce energy for us. So geothermal is nothing but the thermal energy that we use, which is coming from the ground. Now here you see, we are not using any kind of material. We are using whatever it is available in our nature. Sun is available, solar energy is available in free. We don't have to do anything for it. Then geothermal, this is also free. Then dams, water, like this is of course not free. We have to build dams, and then we have to store up the water, and then we have to do it. But still water in some rivers is free, like you see in Ganga river, again Jamuna river, all these places, like you see all these rivers, you might have seen these dams. Okay, the best example is the Sardar Sarovar dam that is in the Gujarat. Okay, one of the biggest electricity producer in this year, and again in this particular in our country. Then again you might have heard about the accident that just happened near the Uttarakhand, okay, Chamoli district, that Nanda Devi dam. So that was again a type of dam which we were using to do this thing. But unfortunately there are some natural calamities that occur, and the glacial lake outburst might have damaged, like it have damaged the dam structure that we have built over there. And you see, sometimes these things could also fail. So you see nature has its own way of doing something, but we are using this nature to make energy out of it. So this is what it is called as the process based energy resources. Now in the next video we will be discussing what is the difference between this process based energy resources and what is the difference between this and this substance based energy resources. What are the advantages, what are the disadvantages of both of them? This is what we will be learning in our next video. So until then, have a nice week and bye.